Hey everybody, let's have a look in terms of where we are. Looking at our run up to New York. Turn that down. Just put a little bit more on the mic and turn the volume up. Okay. So today I'm just going to be running through the upcoming market on where we get to prior to New York. I'm a little bit late. As you can see here, this is our 5-hour candle. And this is our open for those 5 hours. So right now, where we sit here, there's a statistical, this is our low for the 5-hour candle, right? So right now, obviously, we've taken this high. And these are our 6 segments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're in segment 4. I'm just going to go up to the 10-minute chart so we can see more data. So we've got here now, if we're expecting to go bullish now, right? Because we've taken these highs. So by this point in segment 4, if we're bullish, we've had 59%, 69, 75, 80, like over 80% probability this is our low. I'm going to say 82%. Now, we actually had earlier on, I wanted to get this out a little earlier, but we were already at a 60% probability here when we took this high. So if I drop down to the 1 minute, you can see in segment 2 we took that high. And remember on the 10 minute where we've got more data, there's 400 candles, there's a 59% probability. So at that point already, we were expecting to be that this would be our low with a 60% probability that was our low. So potentially could have been a cheap shade there. We've obviously already taken that high, and we're now starting to run up. So apologies for the lateness. I would have had this video done around here. What we do have, obviously, is still an opportunity because we can see that. Let's go back up to where we've got more data. Hey, just a quick one. This live. Just want to run through what market we're expecting, right? So we can see we've still got the last 2 segments left on our bullish high. So we got a 45% and a 10%. So we've still got a 55% probability of our high being in this section. And here's our high probability 5-hour prediction. That's 50% of the average. So this is high probability for us to still reach up to. We can see we're starting to transition. We're going weak. We've come above the 0 line as well. So I am expecting to remain bullish until New York opens. Morning. Hope you're well. So yeah, so our pre-New York Open analysis is bullishness. So what we can do is we can drop down to our hourlies, right? So we've just opened, we've just gone into this hourly, so we can look for some trade opportunities. So let's drop down to our hourly. This is our 5-hour open. This is our 5-hour high probability target. That's a prop, not a prop. Let's get on the 1 hour. Let's load up our V1. Going to be introducing the Lazy Boy today. Video coming out. It's basically a setup whether you are working full-time you know, struggling to find time to trade, it is going to be your statistical edge to profitability. And it takes virtually no time. Limit order setup. Everything that everyone wants when they have a busy schedule. And statistically, you'll be winning. Statistically, you are ahead of the market. I'll be launching that today. Talking through it all. It'll be going into the Discord. I want everyone to be profitable. And this, the Lazy Boy does do that. It'll get you there. And if you add a little bit more of all the extra stuff that comes with Max Algo, even more so. Right, let's have a look at our hour. So what's our first indication? Our first indication is the first 10 minutes. So as you can see now, what I've done is to try and make it easier for people. I've broken it into our 6 segments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those segments relate to this data. So right now, we are in segment 1. And then segment 2 will be here. So obviously we're already looking at, you know, we've gone bullish. We've already had this nice run up. You know, we're corrective bearish. The algo's not giving us great indication that, you know, we are flipping yet. Obviously, we've had that huge run down. We are corrective bearish. So either we can go from corrective back to bearish or back to bullish. Now, obviously, we do not think about going back to bullish until we start seeing the weakening of the trend, which is what we're seeing now, right? So last night when we were trading, where was it? Was it this? Was this last night? Where was last night? My head has gone. What time zone am I on? I am on New York. Okay, so let's find 8:30. Last night. Here we go, here we are. Let's see, you're so long away. Obviously you can see Trend AI. We had no weakness ever during yesterday. So there was nothing other than bearish in our minds. And obviously, we had that play out. Now we're seeing weakness. Okay? Now we're seeing weakness. So this is our high probability 5 hour. We are one more candle away from our first segment, which gives us a potential initial... What do you say I'm launching? Launching the Lazy Boy setup. Obviously, when last week, I didn't want to kind of like throw everything out just all at once because there's a lot to take in. And it's a... You can set your alert. You can then stay away from the charts, get your alert, and it basically takes probably... You can set your limit order, leave the chart, and then you close it within, I think, probably about, say, about a 15-minute window, 10 or 15-minute window. If you're not in, you just close the trade. That's all it takes. You can do it on all your pairs where the data matches up. You can have multiple pairs. Just means that if you're busy, you can't be sat at the charts, you can chain trade with a statistical profitability. Okay, here's our low for this hour, right? Who's following along with me? Here's our low. Right here. First segment done. Right, okay. So if we are expecting bullishness right now, we will expect the 57.92%. This is our low. As soon as we take this high, it becomes even more probable that that is our low, right? When we take it again into segment 3, that's where we get mega confirmation, and that's where you get your signals, right? So let's have a look at the 15 second. We're above. Not yet changed. 30 seconds. Starting to bend, but still blue. And obviously on the 1 minute we are still blue and strong and still looking good. Obviously we haven't got the algo on our side, which is not always great. It's nice to have all of the things combined. We're obviously still bearish, and we still yet haven't confirmed that transition. There we go. I hope all you can see how kind of stress-free trading becomes when there's a process. You're looking for the same thing. It's backed by probability and statistics. You know, I'm just like you guys, right? I'm 3 years into my journey trading. I've gone through different courses. I've gone through different mentors. I've been all through it to find my profitability. You know, I've had the mental games. It's all been, you know, all the challenges. Oh, exactly. Trading with the data, like I'm trading live on YouTube, like and I don't feel any stress about it. I felt more stress sat on my own when I was trading what I thought, or you know, everything's kind of coming together, rather than now, like if everything lines up statistically, it's in my advantage. I'm pulling the trigger, and I just don't care because I know statistically it's in my favour, right? Makes a big difference. Hang on, my wife is having a problem with the car. She's put it into off-road mode. Let me just tell her, click the button and it will go off. Silly wife. Okay, so we get an early signal, right? We take this high, so now even more. What button? What button? The off-road one next to the gear stick. Right. So right now, looking good, yeah? We have statistics on our favour right now. So in segment 2, we've taken the high, right? So for example, if we were to be bearish, there's a 15% probability that this is our high. But if we're bullish, yeah, statistically, our low is here, 57.92%. So right now, significantly more probable that this is our low for the hour. We're getting good signals coming in to say that we're flipping. We took our previous hour high, so we are structurally aligned. You can see that here we obviously take the low, we come up, we don't take the high there, we take the low again. What do we do in this hour that I love? What do we do in this hour that I love? We take the low of the previous hour and take the high of the previous hour as well. When we'll love that. Well done, that's correct. Almost leading into the lazy boy, right? What do we already know? If we're bullish, there is a higher probability than 50% that we take the high, right? Just in this hour. Exactly. Exactly. Statistically, based on the last 221 candles, what? It worked out, right? If we go up to 5, we've got 887 candles. Statistically, still working out. Okay, let's go up again. 1,787 candles. Statistically, it's the same. And that's how you know this data isn't bullshit, because it doesn't matter whether I go to small... I want to be a lazy boy. Put your feet up, set your alerts, flip out the lazy boy. And let's go. Yeah, so obviously this is an early indication. Obviously we don't have the algo on our side, but, you know, statistically, we are already in favour, right? So there's my 50%. And right now, we're only in segment 2, yeah? So if we're going to go bullish, we've got all this data to come. So we've got 41, and this is just for this hour. 41, 50, 60, 70, 80. Right now, if we're going to be bullish, there's over an 80% probability that this high goes. So right now, if we come and get tagged in, obviously we've got a above 50% probability that this is our low. And we have an over 80% probability that this isn't our high. Now, obviously, I like to take really, you know, like as high probability. So we could wait again for this high to go, giving us an even greater, up in the 70% probability, right? So now we've got over a 70% probability that this is our low. So when we get tagged in, as long as we've got enough data on the other side of us, statistically, we're profitable. And all we need to do is wait for those alerts. And then we're only looking to get tagged in between sort of segment 3 and segment 4. And we remove our limit orders. Or maybe let it run a little bit more, because obviously this data is just for the hour. And as you can see, you know, if we were saying that same thing here, yes, it doesn't come down, take the low here. You'd have got tagged in, but it still takes the low the next hour because we're bearish and everything else is aligning. So statistically, it's probably even higher. We're just saying within this hour. Anyway, I hope you're all well today. We take the high. We still haven't hit our 5-hour high probability. We've hit our hourly high probability. Remember, we're in the 5-hour. We still expect probable higher. Nope. Depends how many confluences I have. Pickles. So for example, like I might enter with the signals from here, right? So for example, here we come under. We get a signal here, right? Might have been a bit too early. I don't get a normal signal here, but I get that drop. So potentially, that could have been a trade for me, right? So sometimes I use these when they align up at the right times. Yeah. Here, when we take that low again, potentially I might have taken that one with those signals. So it depends. Obviously, I need everything aligned, and I want the algo giving me strong probability as well. I know, obviously, for some people, the algo's been quite a difficult one. Once you get past that point, and you realise that when everything else aligns, and the algo's giving you that prediction, we kind of sit. Why do I use the 5 hour and not the 4 hour? Just because the 5 hour's running up to 9 o'clock. Just fits nicely. That's all. So if we take this high now, we're going to get a signal. This is going to give us an even more statistical probability that everything is in our favour. We are still weakening of the bullish trend, the bearish trend, right? Trend day, our dynamic TP is flying. I did like the idea of jumping in here, but I didn't, because I didn't have everything I wanted. You can see yesterday, if you were on the live with me yesterday, I waited and waited and waited. And then just as I kind of thought the day was over, everything aligned, ran upstairs, hit record, put the trade on. You know, we just wait for those, we just wait for it to all line up. It'll happen. Look at it, happened all last night. Bang, 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 right? Literally, could not have, if you'd have just followed everything that we talk about, you could not have lost from that point on. Okay, so we've got our high here, right? Segment 2, if we're expecting to be bullish. There's only a 9.5% probability this is our high. Should we go up some data? Let's go up to the 5 minute. Nearly 1,000 records of data now. You can see in our totals. Give you a little zoom in. Whoop, whoop. 887 bullish candles all this data is on. Is that enough data? No? Okay. 1,787. You can see the statistic shows in segment 2 7.44% and 6.49, giving us roughly a 14% probability that our high is in, and what all of our data sitting to the right. We expect the high to go. Let's go. Tappity tap tap. Tappity tap tap. There we go. Now we are sitting above a 70% probability that this is our low. Over 70%. We are 57, 50, about 72%. Just saying, 72%. Our hourly low. Can you see how this is mechanical in what I'm doing, right? Everything I'm doing is mechanical. There is nothing, like, talk about traders building up that edge in how they read the market. There's building up an understanding of the indicators, but the process is the process. Anyone can do the same process. It's mechanical. My process is mechanical. My hourly marking upper highs and lows, mechanical. My probability of lows and highs, mechanical. We're in segment 3. Whoop, whoop. Got a high probability at the 5 hour hitting this top. We've still got more 5 hour price action. Obviously, you know I like to transition first before taking trades, ideally. We put a high in segment 3. Algo's not on my side. Do like everything aligning. We are very bullish. Let's do a cheap trade. Because it's not everything that I look for. look at our risk. $100. I'm okay with that. Let me just up it. Okay. This wasn't supposed to be a trading video. We were just doing a analysis of what's potentially up to come for New York. We're very strong in the trends. We might not even come back. Obviously, you know, you can take those signals here, put your stop below, target high probability when everything aligns. Do you think we should have more calmer music? So I was talking to Tony. Tony was like, it was great. It was good last night. Just, it was a little bit... Music was a little bit... So what do we think about music choice? Should it be calmer? What do we think? Jazz? Tony loves jazz. He would be very happy to have jazz on. Oh, jazz stresses me out. I don't know how to explain it because it's a bit all over. Like my brain goes like just a bit like. Obviously, I'm trying to find royalty-free music. We don't want to be any copyright laws or whatever it is. Streaming music. We've got chill stream music. So this is like. Is it playing? Oh, it's very chill. This is a little slow, maybe. Don't even know what's going on. We'll see how this one goes. I think that's what I've been listening to before. Yeah, it is. Silly Andy. Let's try that one. Here we go, we're going to get tagged in. Is the sound, turn the mic up as requested. Right guys, let's take our first loss. Obviously Trend AI, we are a little early. Trend AI is still transitioning. We've had our confirmation, so we still have probability on our side. I'm happy to take a small loss. Algo's not on our side. Statistically, we should still take the high. We're in. our 15 seconds and not go over, not go under. Come back. We're in segment 4. Ideally, we don't really want to be tagged in immediately on segment 4. We wanted to be tagged in segment 3. So we're a little late to the party. Oh no, segment 4's fine. That's fine. We've still got more than 50% on our data. So let me show you what I mean. Okay, so we're tagged in, right? We have a 72% this isn't our low. And what's the probability of this high going? So right now, we are above, right? So we're in segment 4. We've got segment 5 and segment 6 to come. So even if we just had segment 5 and 6, we've got a 59% probability of the high going and a 72% probability of the low going. So it is still in our favor this hour that our trade plays out, right? So if I take this all the time in the same manner, statistically I'm profitable. Now ideally, obviously we want to even increase our chances even more by having everything aligning. We obviously don't have our full transition yet. So we are not trading all the confluences. We don't have our algo on the side. Right? So we have market structure on our side. We have the we probably have our EMAs on our side as well. So our EMAs are up very wide, but anyway, we have dynamic TP, fine. We're above the 0 line. So we are a couple short. Statistically, though, we are still in favour of it happening. Obviously, I just like to have everything aligned. We'll give this a go. It's low risk. It's probably... What did I do yesterday? Did about 800 yesterday and 700 the day before. So I'll be giving back... What did we say this was? What, 120? That's fine. Again, lowered my risk. Since we don't have everything aligned, we don't want to be risking everything we want to risk. Obviously, from a look point of view, we're going to say we look like we're going to get smashed. Let's see what the data says. Let's go back to our 15 seconds. Still red, not quite yet at the 0 line. 10 seconds, just about going under. What I'd like to see now is the 15 seconds start coming up and change back blue. I'm going to put my first I got smashed video on. Hello. Got 10 seconds left. What we don't want to see is this candle go. Like to see that stay. We have crossed. So that would be my first warning. So like now, for example, it's dynamic TP because it's giving me a warning. So now potentially, if we were to come up, I might want to get out at break even Obviously, we take that low, we're more likely to drive down. Obviously, that's showing us that that's possible to happen. But we get our first warnings. $15 seconds still not changed, so we expect to carry on down. There we go, smashing through, which means we're probably going to drive straight down. So obviously not giving us an opportunity to take risk off. Lower our contracts, it's fine. Let's see if we can hold. What do you reckon? Do you reckon we might just get wicked? We got segment 5 come in. Beep. So remember, obviously, our algo is corrective bearish. So there's only a small statistical advantage of us closing bullish. That's pretty close. I'm sure it will reverse and make sure it gets us. It's because I'm live. They know where my stop is. Just joking, obviously. They can come get my simulated stop. Sure, the prop firm will be happy. Let's have a look at the 15 second. Oh, starting to drop over the zero line. Don't like that. Little fake. Push back down. Maybe. So we've got an open VIB here. So we might get an opportunity if we want to take risk off. We can close off some contracts. So we can half our contracts. Still leave the trade going. We could remove the trade completely if it came back up. Different options. Just about managing risk. And there we go. Through you go. There's no way. No way we're surviving that. What is that? One tick to the low on NQ. Okay, so right now, obviously, when we go into segment 5, which is, this is the last candle of segment 4. We're in segment 5. So we still have time on our side. Segment 5 is 18%, 41%. Obviously, if time runs out and we get closer to the end, obviously taking risk off is still important. Let's see if the market gives us the opportunity or we just get taken out. It's making us wait. Get her! Get her! Get her! Come on! No! Oh my god. Obviously we're half the risk. You know, even as an opportunity taking some risk off now, that's fine. Obviously we might get an opportunity if someone was, you want to get out at break even, we can get out at break even. Or a little bit of profit, or we can hold. Morning. So we took a trade. Not all of our confluences aligned, but using the statistical edge of we had a few statistics in our favor, right? So we got our buy signal, which gave us a 73% probability was our low. We had well over 50% probability that this wasn't our high. As a 1-to-1, doesn't mean we're always going to win, but statistically, we should sit in a more favourable position that we play out and win more often than we lose. Obviously, as time goes on, when things don't play out, potentially, you know, taking risk off is not a bad thing. Getting out is not a bad thing. You know, we could have got out there at break even. We've come and filled that fib, right? I reduced my risk when I took the trade because it's not my favourite setup. It's not what I play. I'm up for the last 2 days, just over 1,200 for the last 2 days. My risk on this is 120. I could lose 10 times and then give back the profit I've just made because it's not everything that I like in a trade. So I could half my risk again, right? I could take a couple of contracts off now, and now I'm only risking 60, yeah? So it's all my thoughts go into is like risk management. Like, okay, how do I want to play this from a risk point of view? How do I want to play this from a risk point of view? Right, so there's 2. So if I want to reduce risk now, I'll take that down, right? What time are we on? 43? We're going to go. We're going to do this. 1 tick. Right, I'm going to take 2 off. Just reduce some risk. Now I'll let it play to the hour ends. And then maybe at the end, if we're not where we need to be, I'll close out. Obviously, we came down a long way. It's not ideal. Obviously, you would look at this in a change of structure, but I'm not doing that. We got our opportunity. We took risk off. If it comes down, takes me out. Now I'm much less. If we come and take this high, I'm looking very confident. Okay. Get the high. There we go. I mean, obviously, this is just data, right? If we go on and hit this high now, come on for the data, the lazy boy. I want it to go on and win. Just for the statistical data to win by a tick. That's crazy, right? Look at this. There's our low. One tick would have been equalled. So obviously we're one tick below. So I'll stop. We can go a few more, obviously, if you wanted to cover that low, for example, just in case. But we are 2 ticks below that low. Here it goes. I mean, what can I say? Remember, we got our 5-hour, high probability 5-hour, right? And we are predicting that the 5-hour is still got some more way to go as well. Flip, 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 flip. Come back over. Let's see the 30-second go first. Come on. Come on. Right, remember, we're still in segment 5. We've got 2 minutes of segment 5. Our high is 20% this segment. Sorry, let's go up. More data. 18% this segment and 41% in the next segment. So we've got 2 candles left before we go into the highest probable segment of getting our high. Want to see this one go as well. Be interesting to see. This would be a position that people would go short in. We've come down, we've broken structure, left an order block, right? Pretty sure that's an ICT order block. Obviously our trend AI, one of my favorite tools. Oh, 1 minute's going blue. Come on, let's go. Come on. Push that high. No. So we are last minute. So statistically now, what do we want? We want price to go on and push and take the highs. You can go break even at this point. Nearly 50 way towards target. You could reduce your stop to here. If we take this low, we don't particularly want to be taking that low in the last quarter, right? It doesn't make sense. We want to be pushing for highs. If we're going to do that, we're less likely not to hit it. Now remember, this isn't including next hour. So statistically, you know, we're breaking highs. The next hour will probably be bullish as well. We're just focusing on this hour. There's probably an even more high probability that we take that high, especially since if I incorporate the 5 hour that I've done, we expect more higher action in the next hour as well. So we're in segment 5 now. This is our highest probability. Let's take that high and push. There it goes. I did create the algo though, guys. I did create this algo. I I can't claim I created an algo. Alright, I think from my point of view now, if I was in this trade, well I am in this trade, and I'm going to put myself to break even, right? Whoa, whoa, whoa! We've only got 2 on. Gonna take, I need to change that, don't I? Otherwise I'm going long again. No, I'm selling. I don't want to sell. So funny. Like proper. Whoo! You're like that. Fuck you two. Fuck you. Probable we were going to go high and take the highs. Fuck you. And then we came back and they're like, go on, Zoo. Here we go. We have another win. Oh, what a trade. What a trade. So for our morning market overview, turned into a bit of a live trading session as well. That was fucking sick, right? Imagine if you jumped in there, right? Look at the risk to the risk at that point. Minimal, maximum, minimum risk. Tiny little risk down here. Boom. And that's the reason why this data works is because you've just seen I can go through, increase the data to tons and tons of data. I can lower the data, and it's not old data that doesn't replay now. So for example, you know, when I've worked on other systems that have had data, the historic data was not playing out now. So if I went back and looked at historic data and then looked at the last 2 years, it didn't play out. The data here, we can, there we go, we hit our 5-hour high. We've hit our 5-hour high. There's our high probability 5-hour target. Boosh. Yeah, so that the historic data you can see not playing out. As where with this data, I can go get all the tons of historic data and then switch it to today, switch it to tomorrow, and see that same statistic play out. So you know it's working. It's happening right now, and that's how the market moves. And I think that's what's important. Sometimes historic data, if you can't see that pattern happening in live price now, then potentially it's irrelevant. Have to see it playing out now. Now obviously we just went for a 1-to-1, but obviously we had our targets and we've got our other targets above. We could have taken some profit off and let it run, but we were here to show the lazy boy statistically in our favour. I didn't have everything aligned. Probably why we had that little bit of a pullback. However, away we go, right? Right, guys, I'm going to be coming back on again in an hour. So I'm going to take a break, get a drink, and then we're going to be going into New York. I don't want to carry on now, otherwise I'll be on for 5 hours. I need a little, get a coffee, have a drink. I will see you on in an hour if you're going to come back on, and we'll see if we can catch some more trades. If you join me in that trade, GG, let's go.